interacting with the people, and I love the growth of that. I love when people say you helped me through a really dark area, because even when I play bad guys, I'm finding I know that bad person is just missing something that it wanted and needed.
Yeah, like all humans. Yeah.
Just a hug, just the right hug, and and somebody understanding them. And I'm gonna leave with this one last thing.
Okay.
I was on a plane once, and I always ask the older people when they're sitting next to me, what's the best advice you can give a young man? I was 33, and this when we were going over to Germany. This will take 1 minute. We were going over to Germany, and I asked this one guy that was like 70 years old, and right at the moment as we were on our way, he said, if you look out the right side of the plane, you'll notice the island of Ibiza. And he got real quiet, and then 5 minutes later he said, have as much sex as you can now. This is before the advent of Viagra.
Whoa.
And then I was coming back from the Czech Republic, and a few years later, and I asked this man as we got on the plane, and he sat next to me, and he waited until we got all the way near LA, and as he was reaching up for his bags, he said, what's the best advice you can give a young man so he can be good, have a successful life? He said, you got to remember, in every person you meet, there's a little piece of God in them, and that's who you talk to. And I added to that, but make sure they see it in you first.
Wow.
So that's what my life principle is about. Make way for life. Please make way for life. Find the piece of God in you and show it. Shine through it. Push it, and take up your stake. Take up your stake and be the Messiah for the day, and 2 days and 3 days if you can, and be a rascal also. I discovered half of this stuff while I was still watching porn. It's not like I was some monk. I was still watching porn, and I'd come back and do these. So I was like, okay, there's a balance.
Wow, this podcast Joe Rogan had with Terrence Howard, I'm blown away. There's so much information that resonates at kind of different levels of truth. I found it to be absolutely fascinating, and I did some more research. I went and looked into Walter Russell, and something that's very profound that he speaks about Walter Russell is we are only limited in the way that we can communicate with the universe. Call it God, call it almighty power, call it your subconscious, whatever you call it, through the intensity of our desire and will. And I mean, wow, I've read some profound books in my life, and this concept of what is it that you truly desire is at the core of so many teachings and so much truth that I've personally witnessed in my life. It's what we desire that's then backed up by our will to go after and get it, and to then illuminate the situations and circumstances and the way that we approach the moment and the people that we meet. That's the law of attraction. That's your energy and frequency. So I highly recommend, guys, go watch Terrence Howard on Joe Rogan and look up Walter Russell. I'm going to share some info, some links. You got to check it out.